all our short stories, and we're going to turn them into like a newspaper, a publication. So that way all of our short stories will be kind of in a single solitary short story publication. So what we're going to do is open up a new document, and essentially I'm going to set the parameters for this in terms of the page setup. Since we want to get a lot of information on here, we'll go ahead and change this like to 0.25. We can do this in Word as well as in our Google Docs, and this will allow us to get more words and more images on a single page. So what we'll do is we have to be very careful about who's going to copy and paste at the same time, because we can't have people messing up other people's stuff, because this is all about basically formatting, and formatting can be complicated. So what we want to do is I will go ahead and put my images in first. Alright, so step one, images. And this can get a little tricky about where your images are going to go in conjunction with your text, right, your plot. So let's see if I can't find my hospital image over here. As we know, we can put images into our Google Docs. Pretty simple. So if I think my image, because with your short story, the hospital kind of gets introduced. You don't have to say anything though, recording. Say yes or no.
Okay.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not gonna.
Yes or no? That's much better. So with your short story, the hospital gets introduced sort of at the beginning, right? So if she thinks like the hospital image would make sense in her first sort of initial paragraph or third or fourth, she can just go ahead. She goes to Insert, Image, and of course, because it's from the internet. Now, careful with that. What I want you to do is go ahead and copy that whole URL someplace else. It could be in your text document. It could be in a Google Doc, because I need you to cite where they're coming from. And we'll put all that at the end. But we know if we use our Harvard Citation generator, it's easy, because we'll go to the part that says image from internet. All you put is, if it has a title, it probably won't. You put untitled. We'll go through that later, how to do that. It's simple. But because we're basically borrowing images from other sites, from other people, we need to cite where they come from. So I hit select, and it pops up over here. Now, I can put this on the right or the left. I think it's easier if they all just go on the left. So what's going to happen is Google Docs is going to ask me what I want to do with this. I'm going to hit this one. If I hit fixed position, it's going to stay there. And when I paste my text, the text should lovely wrap around it, just like in a standard blog or any other sort of publication, right? So what I can do is I can have my Google Doc open, which is my final draft. I can see how many pages it is. If yours is 1.5 pages, it could be great. If it's 2, it could be great. And I will go ahead and go through my 1 or 2 pages on this collaborative doc. I'll insert my 3 images where I think they'll work. Go ahead, if I think this is too big, I'll resize it. And that works good. And then I'll go down, and I'll maybe go towards the bottom of the page and insert my second doc, or I should say image, and then I'll put my third image at the end. And then I copy all of my text from my final doc, from my draft, and I'll paste it on here, and it will work. It'll wrap around the images, and you're done. And yours could be first. And if you're done, and what we'll do is you will show up after Ignis is done. We'll have a very set header, which will say the title of your short story, and it'll have your first name. So, by Danny. Easy. You can see Danny's on there, and if Danny's ends halfway through a page, to make it nice and clean, what will you do?
The end.
No, I mean if you're next. So if you see Danny's was first to put his draft on our collaborative doc, and you're showing up, and if Danny ends up using half a page, what are you going to do? Go to the completely new page, yeah. So that way it's just kind of clean. It makes sense. As if it was an actual book you're going to read. When the chapter ends, it ends, and you open up the next page to go to a fresh chapter. So we'll open up the next document, I should say, but the next page, it'll be the title by Tillman. He'll paste all his images, then he'll fix, I can't speak today, because I'm recording.
The image.
Fixed position?
Fixed position.
That's it. And then he'll copy his draft, and then you'll go on, and when we're done, we'll have all 13 short stories on here. I will publish it as a PDF, and then we'll upload it to this guy right here, and let's see what it could look like. There's different ways we can format it, and maybe we'll vote, see which one we like the best. But basically, it's an online magazine. It's kind of cool. And it'll open up like this. The pages will turn automatically. It's cool. It'll look nice. and this could be your short story, page 1, page 2, and then I go to page 3, and I see Luca's short story on page 3 and 4, and then there's Mike on page 5. Look at Mike down there. First place, baby. Questions?
Yes.
Yes, tell me.
How many pictures will we approximately need?
I would say minimum 3. 3 works fine. And I think if we all keep 3, it's probably a pretty good number. 2 might be okay. Depends how long your short story is, right? So if you see 1 or 2 per page, it just makes sense. And we'll keep them relatively small. And we might have to play a little bit with the formatting. Sometimes it works perfectly, sometimes it doesn't. But we'll sort of we'll work out any sort of difficulties or kinks that come along the way. So.
Can we take up more than 1 page?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yours could be 4 pages. That's fine. But when you're done, someone comes in next to add their short story. They'll just go ahead and make it nice and clean and go to the start theirs on the 5th page. Anybody else? So what you can do today is have somebody else double check your final draft. Look at conventions, which is our spelling, etc., etc. Turn this one off.
Yay.
Make sure it's nice and clear about okay, as we discussed in class, this works so much better if we do this sort of individual by individual in terms of adding our short story and images to this consolidated document. So what we've done here is we created a table, and essentially it's a checkoff list, and this is the sequential order we will go in. So as we can see, Iggy was first, and he got his done in class. He didn't email myself or Dan because we were there, and it's just much more efficient to tell each other. Dan has done his. I told Katja she was next. He needs to go ahead and send her an email, and when he does, he'll just check off here, put yes. He'll send me, he'll BCC or CC me into that email as well, and so on and so forth. So what happens is each one of us is reliant on the individual before us to let us know that they're done, and their short story has been essentially copied over. Everything is formatted perfectly, and the next person will go on, and don't forget to basically insert a page break, or just enter down until you get to the next clean page. That way, and it'll look essentially the same thing as a chapter book. When one finishes, it finishes a quarter of a page or half a page, we go to the next page to start the next chapter.